All right, we're going to open up the meeting.
Hi, Mike. You want me to put you on speakerphone?
Rita
Okay.
is
You're welcome.
connecting Mike Forth for just so we can listen in on the conversation. We'll get started. So I'll open this meeting up. This is the Wednesday, May 2nd Police Station Building Committee meeting. And I will ask if anybody's recording the meeting other than LakeCAM. The first order of business is the police station pre-con meeting review. I'm going to turn it right over to Taylor.
Yeah, I actually, we had taken this out of order, the introduction of Mike Fortunato and Bob Rice, but since they're both here now, we were worried about the Cape traffic, but the bridge was actually completed yesterday, so they were able to make it here. So I just want to bump that up to the front.
Okay.
So on my right is Bob Rice. He's completing right now the Wellfleet Police Station. And Bob is planned to be the clerk of the works or on-site PM for most of the project. The reason we're going to have a little break is Mike just finished up the Orleans Police Station. He's back in the office, so Mike's available right now to do some coverage in Lakeville. So we're expecting Wellfleet to be complete in about 6 weeks, and then Bob would be on-site here full-time. So I did hand out resumes of both Mike and Bob for everyone to take a look at, but we feel they're both more than qualified for this project, both finishing, just coming off police stations and, working in the field for a long time. So if anybody has any questions, we can surely go through those, but I just wanted to make those introductions first.
Great, thank you.
I just wanted to add, we don't traditionally like to flip-flop people around, but we felt it was the beginning of the project, and the contractor will be getting off to it's going to take them a while to get ramped up, and so we thought it was a perfect scenario where, both Mike and Bob are uniquely qualified for the project, but we'd really like Bob to take this all the way through. So,
Yep.
Bob will be attending all of our project meetings. You haven't been told that yet.
I told him right
about now. Well, because he is working at Wellfleet right now, but
Yeah.
On those project meeting days, he'll work out of the office and attend the job site meetings here, just so he's in tune. He'll be included in all of the emails and communications, shop drawing reviews, all of those types of things. And Mike will be on site, representing the company during that period of time. I hope that's okay with everybody.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions of Bob or Mike specifically? I mean, I'm guessing your idea is to introduce them, field some questions if they're here, and if not, get them on the road, right? Get them out of the meeting?
Oh, no, they're going to be here for the whole meeting.
Oh, I see, okay,
Yeah.
all right. I misunderstood that then.
Again already?
No, that was for your benefit, trust me.
That's fine.
We're usually out by 11, maybe
Oh, really?
midnight.
Oh, that's good. You guys taping the Bruins game tonight?
I'm planning on watching it.
So, all right, so if that's the case, if nobody has any questions, I appreciate the opportunity to meet you guys, and I'm excited for you to be working on our police station. So welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. So next, a week ago, we had our pre-con meeting with the contractor, the architect, and ourselves attended. Mike attended that with us. And it was a great meeting. We basically went through how the job is going to run, the contractor's schedule. He gave us a baseline schedule at this point where, he is using all 365 days from his notice to proceed, which was issued yesterday. So today they started work. They started clear cutting today and put up the fence. That clear cutting will continue the rest of this week, and then they'll start stumping probably the first part of next week. So it was really the pre-con meeting is a more of get to know you and how the job is going to run, how do RFIs work, requests for information, if there's any questions, how our change order is going to work, how our requisition is going to work. So that sort of thing, you go through the architect's what their expectations are for the job. And I think overall it was a very healthy meeting. AP Whitaker is looking to hit the ground running. They wanted to start right after that meeting, but we couldn't because of the turtle the turtle boundaries going back and forth. And now that that's cleared up, they were able to start today. So everybody was excited this morning when we got out there, and we're looking forward to a good project with them.
I'd like to add something. Thank you, Rita and Nate, for jumping through hoops to get that notice to proceed out. No, really, getting ready for town meeting and everything
All
else. I know how much
recorded.
you were, how busy you were. So it was appreciated by the contractor, appreciated by us. Our goal is to move this along as quickly as possible. It's hard to think about this, but we're thinking about next winter already. And trying to get enclosed and in the dry for next winter. So we're gonna move things quickly here. So thank you very much for getting that out.
Oh. Nate read all the fine print.
Lucky
Well.
you.
And the
I'm
turtle
still
certificate.
recovering.
Oh, that whole turtle certificate.
And we have more turtle training tomorrow, I believe, right, Mike?
We do.
Looking forward to it.
So,
Actually, with the turtle training tomorrow, if Bob's available, he may want to attend if he's going to be taking over after Mike. That's up to you. I don't know what the availability is, but it is 8 o'clock in the morning. Expected only to be about 20 minutes, maybe a half hour.
sure, you want to do that? And then-
Sure.
Sure.
Be happy to.
Great, perfect.
Excellent, thank you.
Do you get certificates?
We're going to get Brian his own.
Let us know if you don't get a certificate. We'll get you a certificate
Yeah.
of some fashion.
Brian's the one that really wants one, so. Any questions on that pre-con meeting?
And the builder's risk?
Yes.
That's in the works.
Okay.
The agent really wasn't concerned until by the time the foundation.
Until you have a
was
structure
poured.
going up, yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting information to him, and Nate's been helping me. So we should be getting that any day.
All right, good, good. As far as the water line extension contract, the notice of award went out last week. The contract portion is now in Oliveira's court. They're putting together the bonds and insurances, so we haven't gotten those back yet, but we're planning to get those back soon, and we can issue a notice to proceed on the water line as well. So that's in process.
Great. Yeah, and at town meeting, the voters approved to pay for it from the Water Stabilization Fund, so we're
Oh, great.
allocating 170 grand for that. It's to cover all costs associated with the water line.
Taylor, with regards to the water line, I know I spoke with Whitaker today, and they were questioning when we might see it on site,
Yeah.
mainly for the, cement work, the concrete work.
Yep.
Are you maintaining contact with them? Are they looking at like 5 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks? When do you think they'd be doing the foundation work, and how will we get them water?
When I issued the notice of award to Oliveira, he said it's probably he's probably about 6 weeks out. So I'm hoping that's gonna kind of fall right in line with when we start doing masonry.
Yeah.
But worst case scenario, we'll find a way to get water there, water truck, or, maybe they can pull it from the camp, but
Yep.
they're looking to utilize, obviously, the water, and so they don't have to use a water truck, but we're pushing that to make sure it's helpful.
Yeah, I don't think any representations were made that there would be water available for them at that early stage. So if we can help them, great, but it's still their responsibility.
Actually, I think it was to the contrary, where we had mentioned that there probably wouldn't be water at the site at
Yeah.
that time. So I think they were prepared to use the water truck.
Okay. And the second, go ahead, is there a question?
On that note, Nate and I met with the city of Taunton regarding, we had 2 people call across the street from the police station that wanted to tap into the line, and we more or less left it up. Taunton will not run like one water line under the street to service, because there's only 3 houses that have frontage on the water line. So the option was, if you can talk to Oliveira and see if he'll want to come up, do something separate for those homeowners that do want to. One absolutely wants to do it. And I told her that that would be at her cost, if the contractors, isn't that how we left it?
Yeah.
If the contractor's interested in doing that, and do a curb, shoot it under the street, put a curb stop, and I told, I forget her name now.
Was that the water connection application that went along with the agenda that was sent out?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The selectmen did, I think you approved the water allocation, but even if they
I don't
didn't.
remember.
I can't remember. But I told her if 3 of the residents, if all 3 were interested and the contractor knew that he could do it for 3, maybe he should get a better price. So is that something you'll talk to them about?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. They might be shocked by the price to send a line over there, but,
Well, I told her it was,
Yeah.
fortunately, I don't think there's any ledge there. The city of Taunton said it's really a quick thing to do.
They did say they wouldn't be surprised at all if it was upwards of 20,000 between, trying to get underneath the road and then the connection,
yeah, okay.
the meter, everything else.
Right up to the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the idea was to try to get one line over that could then service that side of the street, but they weren't interested in that.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll find out what that direct connection would be.
Yep.
So they want a line for each house? If,
One person definitely does, and 2 are interested, depending on what it costs.
Mhm.
So, it's like everything, everybody's interested until they find out how much it
How
really
much it
costs.
is,
And then
right.
they say, wow, well is great, I love it.
How would that work? Would a change order, if this were to come to fruition, would a change order be issued to the contractor for the town, and then the town would collect the money from the resident, or would the resident pay the contractor directly?
I would say the resident would pay the contractor directly.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to get in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's,
I agree, yeah.
But if he wants some more work,
Well, then it begs the question, we're gonna have to be careful about that. We'll think about it, because.
No, yeah, and
they're
I
working
know what you're
prevailing
saying
wage.
is-
Now all of a sudden, they're doing private work.
correct, and
you
it
know.
could slow down, not that it's a
Changes
lot
the
of work,
schedule, yeah.
but it could slow down progress on this project, and,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're trying to do the right thing in terms of helping out the residents that live in that area, but that's kind of beyond the scope of what we're trying to do here, on another hand. So, think about that and let us know your thoughts on it.
Well, we'll strategize.
And like I said, I think the cost will be the great decision maker of the whole thing for the residents as well. I can't imagine they would want
I would say at least
to pay $20,000 for
10
something that they get for free right
to
now.
get the,
I think the only
At least
one
10.
that most likely
And that
will
only
want
gets it
water is
across the street,
Sampson's,
right?
Cemetery. Sampson Cemetery does not have to go across the street, so, they may want the curb stop.
Mm.
And, I think that would be a change order, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want to, we could take that on as a change order, I think.
It's on the
Just a-
same side of
just
the
a curb-
street.
curb stop, same
Leave
side
it,
of the
leave
street.
it there,
Right.
and they can tie from
They
there.
tie in.
But that's a
Yeah.
town department.
no.
But Sampson's is it's a private.
It is a
it's
private?
private
I didn't
entity.
realize that.
Yeah. Or we could backcharge them, but I think that it would be better done probably with a change order, even if it costs them a little bit more to do it.
But they said they wanted it,
You
right?
do want it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, in order to make sure that we work as expeditiously as possible on this, if you have people that have made an inquiry, it almost seems as if we don't want to wait until they're digging in front of their house for them to say, hey, I want service too. So the sooner we can find out who's interested and who's not, the better off I think we'll be, and then we can work with the contractor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was waiting for the notice of award to go out so that they could give us some pricing too. And, they didn't
Yeah.
think we were just getting pricing from them, so we can absolutely work with them now, yeah. The second part of the water line discussion I have is Ken Motta's construction administration contract. And if you remember, he gave us a price for $6,500 to do that, and that's for 6 weeks of work. I went back through, and there is no overlap between what he's given us before. The amendment is completely separate. And I went through it with Ken, and I feel that it is reasonable. For 6 weeks of work, for $6,500, if you break it down, it's $1,100 a week. And that's for site visits, reviewing any changes that might come up, reviewing submittals that might come up, field reports. So I feel that it's reasonable, and speaking to Ken, I felt comfortable afterwards. I know it is something that we felt was high last time.
Right.
But the more time I spent with it, and the more I broke it out, I think it is a reasonable number.
I think too that with the actual bid coming in way lower than we anticipated, it really made the engineering work seem a lot more expensive.
It did, yeah,
Right?
It did, sure.
Yeah, and I'm comfortable, we talked about it previously, so I'm comfortable with what you did and looking into that, and I appreciate your time with that.
Is that something we want to take a vote on so we can give him the, because I want him on board once we start the water line work, so.
Yeah, we should do that. So we're moving to accept the proposal for Ken Mata to do what exactly? He's doing the
The construction administration.
construction administration of the water line. So I'll make a motion that we approve that.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion carries, it's unanimous.
And that proposal was sent out to everybody in the committee too, so everybody should have a copy of that.
And I do have it, and I'll put it on the May 9th agenda for the selectmen to vote on.
Yep.
Next is material testing. I sent out those proposals as well. And the reason I did that was we heard some chatter about some issues potentially with Tibbetts and things that went on in Middleborough. Since that time, we've spoken with Tibbetts, and we found out that the rift was actually between Tibbetts and the planning board, and it was 15 years ago. So there's really been no issues between them since that time, and they have actually done work for the town of Middleborough, just not the planning board. I also spoke with some references, municipal references, who worked with Tibbetts, and they gave them, 5-star reviews on municipal jobs just like ours. So I'd like to get another vote, I think, to move forward with Tibbetts now that we have that new information, and I can, award them for construction testing, the contract for construction.
Make a
testing.
motion
Okay.
to accept Tibbetts' proposal for construction testing.
Second that.
All right, any further discussion?
If I may?
Sure.
I don't know what was covered at the last meeting, but I'm assuming you presented, we had gotten 3 quotes?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay, so-
UTS, Briggs, and Tibbetts.
All right, so there was 3 quotes, everything was done through the proper process. It's being purchased under 30B
Yep.
in accordance with those.
Yeah, we
Yep.
discussed that last meeting.
All right, I just wanted to make sure.
We were very excited about Tibbetts for a number of different reasons, but there was this information that we wanted to research, so I appreciate the information on that, and I think that I'm comfortable with that explanation. I think the benefits of using somebody local for what we're trying to do, I think,
I think so too. They're very excited about getting the job, and it's very helpful that they're right next door.
Yep.
And like I said, everybody that I spoke to, couldn't say enough good things. And I know, Nate, you've had some personal experience with them as well, so.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing,
I'll put that on the selectmen's agenda too.
let us vote first, it might
Oh,
go down in flames. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion carries, it's unanimous.
All right, we're getting a lot done today. Next is commissioning update. If you remember, during our budget building, I had gotten a price from WSP for commissioning. And that price at the time, that was back in December, was $14,250. To complete or to comply with our bidding regulations, I had to get 2 more quotes. So I went ahead and I spoke with SMMA. Their quote, these were sent around as well to everybody, was $26,300.
Wow.
And Synergy, their quote was for $15,900, all for the same scope. So WSP stayed the lowest, and I would like to recommend them approval for commissioning for the project. We've worked with them on numerous projects, and I think they're great to work with.
So I believe within their scope, they have budgeted for schematic design review at 50 and 70%, I believe.
So they did an initial review.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to do a review of the building anyway.
Okay.
So I don't think that number's gonna change. I'll confirm that with them. I know that's in there because it's an older proposal.
Okay.
I don't think the number will come down too much because they're gonna have to do a full review of the drawing set anyway.
Okay, that was the only thing I saw.
Yeah.
So summarize, what are they responsible for as far as commissioning?
So they're responsible they'll start with the specifications, they'll review the specifications and the submittals that all come through. They're making sure that everything is installed per the specification and per the manufacturer's recommendations. Then they're there for all the startups of the equipment, And then they do basically a running log of any issues that might happen with the equipment, anything that needs to be tested further, and making sure that they're operating 100% really when the building's turned over. Then they'll also stay with the equipment. If any issues come up, they'll come back to the building, and go through it. They'll have a log of basically, what happened or what the issues could be.
So to expand upon that, when Taylor talking about the equipment, he's talking about the mechanical equipment,
Right.
HVAC, heating, air conditioning, cooling systems primarily.
It's plumbing, there's some plumbing in there and electrical as well too. But it's basically the HVAC equipment, which always has the most user issues at the end of the job.
Well, we've seen with the technology these days and the energy code and the advanced, building management systems, so on and so forth, it's good to have a second set of eyes from a professional perspective on these mechanical systems. And WSP is also a mechanical, electrical, and plumbing and fire protection engineer. So they're not only just a testing company, but they provide this type of design service on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, they're design engineers for us for the Norwell Public Library project. So I think that they bring a very unique set of qualifications to the project.
And our budget line for that we're carrying now is $20,000. So their quote was $14,250. So we're under that budget line.
Okay.
And this is also under 30B?
Yes.
So if we're ready, I'll make a motion that we accept WSP as our commissioning agent for the police station.
I'll second that. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries, it's unanimous.
Next, we wanted to discuss change order process. We talked a little about this at last meeting and even the meeting that we had for Aaron. Typically, what we like to see happen is a subcommittee really broken off that'll meet with our project team. And it's usually those person or persons are given a amount that they can approve change orders up to a certain amount, in the case that we need to make a quick decision on something. Whether that be 10,000, 20,000, towns handle it typically. We usually see somewhere around 20,000 that those persons or person can make a recommendation on based upon our review and recommendation of a change.
Is that in aggregate over a certain time period, or is that per change order?
Per change order.
Checked with Middleborough how they were doing theirs, and they do 10,000. There's 3 members, like a subcommittee, that do the change orders. Anything over 10,000, then they go back to the full building committee. Is how they're doing it.
It's really whatever the town feels comfortable with. But I think 10,000 is a great starting point.
Yeah, and that's a good point. There's no reason why we can't adjust on the fly if we want.
No.
If we find that, there's something that's, 11,500 and it's obvious and we have to meet with a full meeting, then maybe we want to make it 15, for example.
Yeah, why don't we start with
I don't
10?
know. But yeah, let's give that a try.
You just don't want to meet every time you have, a door switch was changed and it's $500 or something,
Right.
You don't want to meet every time you have little chippy ones show up, but
Yep.
it's good to keep things moving. So
I agree, except that it's obviously a concern that creep starts to 10,000, 10,000, 10,000.
Well, do we cap it, cap the aggregate? Because we could always come back to the meeting to increase that. We could,
yeah,
Sorry, so are you gonna have a running log of change orders that can be reviewed at these meetings?
absolutely, Mike, absolutely. It will be. Yeah, I'll keep a running log and it'll be prepared for each meeting. And then we'll obviously present, what we don't want to do is be approving change orders before the committee has had a chance. I'm talking about on issues that might pop up and we have to make a quick decision on. The goal would be to have the log out in front of everybody to make approvals on before we give approval to the contractor.
Okay,
I forgot.
thank you. And I'm happy to be part of that group if you guys want me to be part of it.
start with 10,000?
I think so.
Let's see how we go, you know?
It begs the question, what is the committee's authorization from the Board of Selectmen?
Well, I think whatever we vote would probably have to be voted on again with the Board of Selectmen to authorize.
Right, and that's the thing, is whatever we decide, we'll just ask the Board of Selectmen to approve it, to grant that authority to that subcommittee, to,
But
Because
taking
you
it
wanna
to the
be all
next level, you know, is the ultimate authority the Board of Selectmen to approve change orders, or is it the building committee?
well, I would say that it's the Board of Selectmen, because they're the ones that are under contract with the contractor. But my point is that we can delegate that authority to this committee
Yep.
and then the subcommittee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think, you know, we can do, as Rita's taking notes on the May 9th meeting, we'll have a few housekeeping things we want to do in terms of ratifying these votes at the Board of Selectmen level, but then we should just explain, like, look, this is the process, you know. I know John Powderly has talked about this idea, and he's asked me, how are we going to deal with change orders? And I said, well, we haven't yet decided it, but the idea is that we'll have a subcommittee most likely that looks at everything below a certain threshold. So, and, you know, obviously we did this in a public meeting, and I know he's okay with that idea, assuming that we're on it. You know, he's nervous of the change order creep. So, so that's kind of been what the discussion has been, but we needed to have this meeting to decide how we wanted to set up the framework, decide as a group, you know, then on how we want to handle it, and then we'll have the selectmen again ratify it at our May 9th meeting.
And I think he wants a written policy, so if Taylor can just write up something, and I'll put it on the May 9th.
Yeah, I mean, it could be as simple as there shall be a committee of however many there are that will serve as the change order approval committee, subcommittee. And their authority is to decide by a majority vote any change order $10,000 or less. You know, I think that's the general framework. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that.
So in your
And I-
experience on Middleborough and stuff, assuming that the plans are as good as we think they are, everything, what kind of change orders are we speaking of?
Well, there could be, I'm not suggesting that there is, but there could be unforeseen conditions on site.
Understand those,
Let's say
right?
we went into ledge or
Right.
boulders or unsuitable material.
Right.
There could be, as we're going through the shop drawing phase, talking about security and phones and all of the integration things, maybe there's some components, we need to add some electrical outlets or infrastructure boxes for the electrical to accommodate for all of our different components. With Jakunski-Hume's documents, we very seldom will we see, you know, issues or flagrant issues that we're going to have to deal with from a change order perspective. But, you know, a lot of times as we're going through the shop drawings, we may say, geez, this is what was designed. You may want to think about this. And so we need to be able to make those decisions pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Can I make a recommendation? Because my guess is the Board of Selectmen are going to want to know the limit that the subcommittee or the committee can approve before coming back to them. So you may want to, you granted it, you know, the subcommittee to approve up to a certain amount per change order, but then my guess is the Board of Selectmen would like to see an aggregate before coming back to them. Because you could just change everything's under 10,000 and then they don't have any approval rights whatsoever. Maybe, I don't know, I don't want to create a problem. But,
Yeah.
you know, it may come up, so you may want to think about it.
So let them bring it up.
Yeah, okay.
And I think if you put in there too, that it will be, those three people will meet with the construction team to
Yeah.
go over it. It's just not the three get together.
But what you should be looking for is the OPM sign-off and recommendation, and the architect and consultant's recommendations on each before you even make a decision.
Yep.
If I can say one thing too, Aaron, okay? I don't remember on either the library building committee or the COA, and Rich was on both of those committees. I don't think the Board of Selectmen voted the GCs, you know, it's multiple pages. We would give copies to them so they knew the payment, but
Right.
the committee would vote to approve. I don't think.
Yeah, I want to have the Board of Selectmen delegate that authority to
Yeah.
this body. I don't want to have them with their hands in on it. Now, not to say that they're not, these are public meetings, they can come and participate and all of that. Not to say that I don't want them to understand the process as much as they're comfortable understanding it, but, you know, we have a committee of a certain size, and we're making a subcommittee so we can react on the fly, and we need to be nimble. So if we're all of a sudden gonna have another layer to it that takes away that flexibility, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to even set it up that way. So my idea is that they're going to delegate complete authority for the change order process to this group that has then decided to delegate it to a subcommittee that would make those changes. And if through this process this committee determines that a change in that process needs to happen, we can make that without the Board of Selectmen being involved. You see what I mean? That's how I'd like to see it set up, and that's how I'll like explain it to them. I don't want to have to keep going back to the Board of Selectmen if, you know, obviously if there's something big, you know, we do a police station building committee update to the Board of Selectmen at the end of every meeting, so that we explain to them as to what's going on. And my guess is that John probably knows more than I do about what's going on anyway, and he's not even on this committee, because he spends a lot more time at the town hall than I do. So that's how I'd like to see it happen, and if, you know, do you think that makes sense with that approach? Or?
That's the best possible way it could happen.
Okay.
That's the way 99% of the towns run it.
Right.
Even at our pre-con meeting, AP Whitaker brought it up and he said, does everything need to go back to the Board of Selectmen? Because he's worried about time and getting payments out, and so
Right.
When it comes to change orders and the requisition, and the Board of Selectmen only meet, you know, once or every 2 weeks, then that can be an issue for him. So he was
Right.
hoping that it was going to be delegated down, and I said that's the plan. We haven't discussed it, but that's what we'd like to see.
Yep, okay, so I think we're on the same page with
Yeah.
that, and again, I'll pitch that idea with the rest of this stuff to the Board of Selectmen, and I don't anticipate any issues with it. I only need one vote, so.
One of the things we may want to think about, though, is that, I don't want to drag this out, but you would ask the question about changes. There were some reasonable value engineering items that we discussed to make sure that our budget was manageable, that we may want to talk about adding back in. And I don't remember them off the top of my head exactly, but there may be some items there that would, you know, cross that threshold.
Yep.
And those could be approached as a full committee,
Yeah.
you know, versus we hit ledge. Yeah.
Yeah, and the VE items were actually all approved by this full committee, you know, to
Right.
come out, you know, originally, so.
Yep. Yeah, exactly, and I think those would be more typically, or not typically, or in my recollection, those were over that threshold anyway. Most of them seem to be pretty higher priced items, you know. Do you remember any of them?
Cupola.
There was the,
Nate and I are gonna do that.
There was the pass gate, the accessibility, automatic actual
Door
opener.
Some millwork came out.
Which we added back in, I believe.
We did.
If I remember
Yep.
correctly.
Was your water line out to the carport? Yeah, or
Might have
not?
been
There's some
a water
utilities
line.
out there.
Yeah.
We're
There's
going
a
to be
handful.
developing a list of those to start
Yep.
talking about, you know, adding those back in. We'll go through it with the chief first.
Mhm.
Those,
Where those probably couldn't be considered unforeseen things, those to
Yeah,
Tim's
they're
point, would
planned.
actually
Yeah,
end
we'll
up
call that
back
an
here
upgrade.
anyway, yeah.
Yep.
So do we have an idea of the number of folks that would be on this subcommittee? Do we say 4 and 3 signatures are required in order to move forward with an emergency type change order? Or do we have a number that typically works well?
Well, we would expect the people of that subcommittee to be able to attend, at least most of the people, and let's say it's 4, 3 or 2 could attend our weekly meetings.
Yeah.
So that they're, in the loop on those things. And I know we had
There's
talked,
3.
There's 3.
I know we had,
3 signatures or 3 members?
3 members.
what we
Yeah,
don't
you
want to
wanna
do,
4 because.
we don't want a quorum.
Right, well, 4 is too many because if you need at least 3 to have a meeting, right? Because you need a quorum of the subcommittee if they're doing the approval, if it's a majority vote. You know what I mean? So if you go to 3, you only need 2 there, but it has to be unanimous.
Yeah.
But it's much easier to get 2 people in the room than it is 3 if you have the 4.
Yeah.
And you'd still need those 3 yes votes if you got, I'm just trying to think through the logistics of it. I think 3 is probably a better number to go with. Than
Yeah, we don't
4.
want a quorum of this group, because then we'll have to
Correct.
post every meeting. And,
Yes.
I know we had talked before, Chief, I think it's a really good idea for you to be at every meeting that you can be.
I think when you look into programming and how we have it.
Yeah, there's gonna be decisions that you need to make for the department there. And Nate, I think you were planning on being at those meetings as well.
Yeah, I'd like to.
So I mean, that leaves a spot open for the 3rd. I know Mike Forth on the line there. I know he's probably busy during the day when we'd have these meetings, construction meetings, so,
I can make myself available if you want to.
okay.
And it gives us incentive to get it done before next winter.
Mike Forth, are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine. I was just offering. There's no way I can be there during the day, so.
Okay,
I'm happy to review things, on the outside if you guys want to run things past me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think you're a great resource to have, Mike, so, reviewing change orders and things like that, we can certainly send them your way.
Okay.
all right, so I'm good with that if you 3 guys want to take that on. And first of all, I appreciate and thank you for doing that because I know that hopefully it isn't a lot of work, but it could be. So, thanks for drawing the short straw, so to speak. So I guess I will move that we create the change order approval subcommittee, and I nominate Tim, Nate, and Frank to serve as the members.
I'll second
All right,
So my
any
own
further
nomination.
discussion? Yep.
We didn't know that list.
Is it just this change order approval subcommittee, or is it the project subcommittee? Because they would be representing the committee at our project meetings.
Okay,
So
yeah, I
think-
see that you have that on a further one. Well, are you guys comfortable in that role as well? I mean, I would assume that
wanted
you
to-
Yeah,
you
I plan on
guys, you two
attending.
guys want to be there anyway.
Yeah.
Tim, is
Yeah,
that something you want to take
I'm
on?
easy with it.
It'll be, yeah, Tim, I know your schedule's not, as flexible, but, so it'll be a set day and time.
Yeah. And
Every
once I
week or
know
two-
what
or
it
2
is, I
weeks.
can work it.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to talk to the contractor and the architect about what day, will ultimately work the best, but it would probably be, a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
So this committee is the change order approval committee and the police station construction meeting subcommittee, right?
Yes.
So it's going to take on both of those roles for the project. All right, anybody have questions about that? All right, so I amend my motion to include that,
Yeah.
yep. Oh, Nate amends his motion,
Yeah.
and I second his amendment, just to be clear.
While we're amending, do we want to add the 10,000 per change order limit, or is that a second vote?
Sure, we'll add that too, and I'll second that.
You got all this, Rita?
No, Jen, poor Jen is getting it all.
You want another one?
I know, I'm talking to Rita like she's taking notes.
Well, I am taking a lot of notes, but it's on, at least it's on cable.
No,
too.
of course, I always know when it's being recorded, it's less important for people to be jotting down, because you can watch it again, but, all right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion carries, it's unanimous.
So the contractor requisition approval process is much easier. Our plan is each month that our full committee meets, and that's what we're planning on. I think everybody was thinking the same thing. This committee would meet once a month. We would bring at that time a invoice rundown, a budget update, but in that invoice rundown would be all the invoices received to date, as well as the contractor's invoice, which had at that point been approved by us and the architect. Prior to us giving the committee the requisition from the contractor, we do a pencil review. We get about a week before we get the final review. We go through it. Our on-site manager goes through it. The architect goes through it. We all agree on what the numbers should be. If it has to be cut in any areas, then we do that. And then we give it back to the contractor. They give us a final version, which we sign and give back to the committee. And that's the one we would bring to our monthly meeting as recommendation for approval.
So it's not only our meeting, but it's the selectmen's meeting too, that you need to align to get payment, right?
So that was, are we gonna give authority down to this committee to approve requisitions? Or does that need to go to?
No, we should.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
have that.
yeah, that
Delegate
was-
authority to the building committee.
Okay.
Yeah, for all payments, that's the idea.
And it'll be somewhere around the, end of the month to the first of the month where that committee date will hit.
And I think, your recollection of the other projects in town, it was done that way, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think the fact that we didn't set it up this way was just an oversight, honestly, so we'll explain that to the selectmen and.
And we have 30 days from the date you, Pomeroy gets the invoice. And so it gives us time for the approval, for the committee to meet, get it on the warrant for payment.
Correct.
I believe it's 15.
I think it's 30.
No, 30.
Yeah.
Municipalities is 30.
Well,
Not that I like to take advantage of it, but, with meetings having to happen, it is good that it's 30.
what we'd like to recommend, we don't have to do it this evening, is we should set our schedule, our committee schedule, so that we can process these quickly. We'd like to see the committee meeting either that first or second week of the month, so that the invoices can be submitted in an expeditious manner. So, depending upon the community, most of our communities are meeting that first week of the month.
Yeah.
So we push hard to get the invoices in
Yeah.
and get everything submitted. Firm believer that, like to keep the cash flowing with the contractors.
Are we gonna set a,
Taylor, this is Mike. Is somebody going to put together a cash flow, or has that already been done for the project?
That's been done.
Okay.
It's actually, it has to be updated though. Now that, no, we did get one from AP Whitaker on this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's
we've already
updated.
submitted, yep.
I'm pretty sure we emailed it to all the members. Mike, do you want me to send it to you again?
Sure, thank you.
I'll send it to the whole company again.
So do we want to pick a day then? I
I was
think
gonna
that's what
say,
you
I think it
started
would
to
be
say.
easier, because we've kind of been all over the place
Yeah.
with dates, to know if you had every first Wednesday, at least you don't have any conflicts that way, or whatever day.
Well, Mike, what night is good for you? Was Wednesdays not good?
No, Wednesdays are typically good. I just, tonight I had something
Okay.
in the seaport that I couldn't get there in time, and sometimes I'm traveling, so Wednesdays are typically okay.
I know Thursdays don't work for Rich, but I thought somebody else wasn't good for Wednesdays. Were we meeting on
Yeah,
Tuesdays for a while? Or maybe it's Tuesdays, I couldn't.
Yeah, we were meeting on Wednesdays for a while. We can make it the first Wednesday of every month, 5:30.
Okay.
I think it was only me that had a problem with Wednesdays.
I knew somebody did.
Yeah, but those projects are finishing up down the Cape now, so.
And I'll just double check with the contractor and make sure we'll have his final requisition by then. So his plan was to get us the the pencil copy the third week in a month, and have the final to us by the last week in the month. I just want to make sure that's going to work with his timing, so that we have it when we meet.
So as long as we, excuse me, as long as we've got our calendars open, July Wednesday is the 4th.
Okay.
So, I mean, do we want to move that one right now, just be done with it?
Move that one to the second Wednesday.
Yeah, that one could be the second Wednesday.
Okay. So first Wednesday except for July.
And that'll be contingent upon whether or not so we'll go through the schedule, we'll look at that, when those Wednesdays are, and we'll make sure that AP Whitaker can commit to their processing by that time.
Exactly. Everything might be pushed to the second Wednesday, just to give AP Whitaker a little more time to process his invoices. All right, any questions? Next, I did provide an updated action log. We don't have to go through each and every one, but I'll just kind of go through the hot ones on my end. So this is different than the one in your packet. The one I sent out is I updated it today just because it's updated daily. Really, the biggest ones I'm looking for, to start at the top, everything at the top has pretty much been crossed out. That was getting all of our contracts out. So everything hot on my list to this point is getting the builder's risk up, which Rita's working on. Getting the construction schedule, the hard construction schedule from AP Whitaker. He's given us a preliminary one, but that needs to be finalized, along with his schedule of values. That needs to be finalized as well. We just talked about the payment approval process, the change order process. So those things are going to be crossed off. Getting the water line notice to proceed out is another big one right now. So again, just waiting to hear back from the contractor on that. We talked about the Ken Mata water line construction administration. That's complete now. Material testing, that's complete now. The other big ones are the purchase of the generator and the propane tank that are.
Did you bring the specs tonight so that Tracy can?
On.
The generator, and Lorraine called you, I thought, for the generator and.
She called to remind me that to have it on our list, which I had, but she didn't mention anything about the specs. I'll coordinate with that.
And what was the other thing, the propane, 1,000 gallon
Underground
tank?
propane.
Yeah, we already have the specs on the generator for sure. We already have a quote, so.
Yeah, but,
Well, that one we can direct purchase from South Shore Generator.
Right.
That was the plan.
okay.
So I'll go through that with you.
And I actually spoke to Mark Rich about that.
Okay,
And
all
he had
right.
said we could use that state contract.
Yeah, because they've already.
Because it was non-labor.
Correct.
That was the biggest piece.
Yeah, we're just providing it.
Okay.
Up the threshold.
So we had given him a spec a long time when we decided to go
I
that
remember
route.
reading his email.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
have that quote, we can really just pull the trigger. We gotta, make sure everything's in place, but we're ready to pretty much pull the trigger on that. And then as far as the tank, I'll talk to Brian about that.
Yeah, we probably should secure that generator sooner than later to make sure that the pricing,
Stays the same.
It's probably a 30-day on the estimate.
Yeah.
We gotta just ask if you'll keep that price and just go forward with it.
Does that require a committee vote?
I would say it wouldn't hurt to have, make a motion to move forward with South Shore generator for the police station per their current proposal.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries.
Off topic, we should get a quote for him for the senior center.
Yeah, I think that was on my to-do list for my selectmen's
It was
meeting.
very good to deal with, and, our little ones have been very good.
Gaming license too.
And just so everybody knows, the generator has been in our budget. This is the last budget update I gave, so it shows how that's built into our budget.
The budget for it, wasn't it, like 98, 99, and it came in around 72,
77.9. Yeah, we were carrying just less than 100 grand before, or the estimate was carrying that. Yeah. So yeah, we had a savings by ultimately purchasing it ourselves. Any questions on the action log?
Did you want a groundbreaking ceremony?
Oh, I went through, yeah, that was,
What
Yes,
about the
we do.
curb? Where do we stand on the curb cut?
we still don't have an update from ZCE on that.
So that expired, the 30 days expired last Thursday?
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, I actually spoke to him about that. He knew the timeframe in which they should have responded has been up. He expects that they're gonna come through and issue that.
Yeah. I haven't been able to get any information out of these, but,
Yeah.
which I told you.
Is it constructive approval if the
Probably.
state doesn't
Probably
respond?
is.
We're not expecting any issues, but for whatever reason, Jamie hasn't heard anything.
How late do you go before you make a phone call and gently ask?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we've nudged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just haven't got anything back. And so the plan will to keep this rolling through the entire project. It'll get pretty long, but more things will fall off. So, any questions?
We're talking about groundbreaking?
Oh, yeah.
I think we made it through half the list here.
Well,
Is there anything to discuss?
I was going through the hot items.
Oh, okay.
Everything, I mean, do you want to talk about closeout documents now?
Yeah.
Bruins,
It's
like
coming.
Bruins.
Winter's coming.
We're cutting it really close.
Well, at least you should be thinking about, maybe talk with the Board of Selectmen about groundbreaking.
Well, we did want to do one, and we thought about doing it earlier, but then, based on Taylor's advice to wait until we had some trees cleared and something to actually photograph, we thought better of it. So, whenever you think it's appropriate, we can set one up, in terms of when are we in the way? It's probably, the answer is always at this point, but.
Yeah, let me talk with AP Whitaker, and, he just wants to make sure the site is safe.
Yeah.
So I'll throw it out to him, but it's probably gonna, really, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we could do it at any time.
Yep.
Does the town prefer doing it in the morning, at night, on the weekend? What are they, I guess the town can talk about it at, maybe Board of Selectmen's meeting, and think about when they'd like to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we did talk about it, but I don't think they really care. I mean, my guess is that, well, John said he doesn't really care if there's one or not, right? Was my recollection.
Oh, he really wants one of the assessors, I think he does.
So,
Yeah.
right, well, I think he changed his tune when we went to that one at the
Yeah.
South Coast Walk-In Clinic, and it was a nice event. I mean, I think it's an opportunity to make a splash in the community and get people excited about the project. And I know that, obviously we'll invite the newspapers and whatnot, and they'll cover it, which is good. It's good news. It's a positive thing. So in terms of when we do it, it depends on whether how many people we want to get there from this committee, right? I mean, we would do it in the evening,
Mhm.
I think the Board of
Just
Selectmen's
crashed.
Yeah.
meeting May 22nd. We wanted to, at 6:30, so maybe if you held it, so people that work can,
Right. I mean, we could even do it that way. We could do it prior to a Board of Selectmen meeting. That way we know at least that group would be there.
That's fine.
And then, ideally, as many people from this group can get there too. Oh, there he is.
that was the noise.
Well,
Oh,
What's your schedule for BOS meetings?
It's kind of as needed at this point in time because of the budget and getting ready for town meeting. So, but, yeah, I mean, would May 22nd work?
Oh, I don't see why not. I think by then we can definitely get one. Why don't we just,
Okay.
plan on May 22nd? Is that your next one?
I think that
No.
is.
We have a
Oh, nice.
few before then, but,
Yeah, May 22nd gives us time
Yeah.
to plan it and.
yep,
Yeah, May
word
22nd
out.
at, what time? At night, you said?
yeah, like 6 o'clock?
Sure.
That's Wednesday, right?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Tuesday.
No, yeah, Tuesday.
Is that really the meeting?
Well, why do I keep thinking May 20, so it's May 23rd is the meeting. Something else is happening on the 22nd. But,
So that's going to the 23rd?
oh, remember Mitzi needed to not meet on a Wednesday that week?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But let's do it this way. I mean, Rita can
I'll
just
email.
confirm with the master calendar, and she'll email everybody as to when it is. It'll be that week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay.
And then once, she'll do that tomorrow. Once we know, you can just check with the contractor and double check if that works for them.
That should be plenty of time for them. I don't think we'll have any issues. Other than that, that's everything I had for tonight. I think we made a lot of good progress. We're excited about seeing.
Yeah, no, this was a great meeting. I think, I was telling Rick when I drove over here, I could smell that fresh cut pine. As I drove by the site, I'm like, yes, they're getting those trees down, so it's exciting.
If you drive back there, they made a lot of progress today. Everything they cut about maybe half the site today.
Yep.
Just one guy in a machine, so he's moving quickly. In a couple days, you'll see that clear cut.
So I guess I have one thing related to the construction fence on Bedford Street. When I pulled out there tonight, it seemed like the sight lines were impaired.
Okay.
I'd like somebody to take a look at that and see if we can't move it back 5 or 6 feet.
Okay.
I don't know if you noticed that.
The sections need to be secured at the top, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk to Paul about that tomorrow?
Yes, yeah. This is just done by, is this
The
done by?
committee approves it and then 4 people.
I see,
sign.
right, yep, okay. All right, so we have some invoices here that was provided to us to review with Field Engineering. The first two, South Coast Media Group. Pomeroy is the last one. Does anybody have any questions about these?
On the field engineering, prepare cost estimate for residential service? Is that what we're talking about across the street?
Yes, Nate and I had him.
Okay.
Yeah, that didn't go through me.
All right, don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no,
Okay. I didn't know he said those.
Well,
This is like
I'm gonna
calling an
retract my
attorney,
motion
you
to
know?
accept the
I didn't know that he.
65.
I didn't know that he billed
He
for that
gave a
either.
very, very thorough, he included everything that the homeowner would have to.
He did, yeah. I didn't think he was
the
gonna
town.
bill for it.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve these as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries, it's unanimous. All right, our next order of business is to approve our meeting minutes from March 20th and April 4th. These meeting minutes have been provided to us. Does anybody have any questions, changes, suggestions, comments?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as written for March 20th and April 4th.
I will second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. The motion carries, it's unanimous. Do we have any new business?
Sorry.
tell him to shut up. No, Rita, if I get a chance at some point, could you send me an accounting recap for the project expenditures to date?
I have through March 31st.
Okay.
But I asked the town accountant, because the town accountant was holding some bills.
Yeah.
And I don't know if was Project Dog cleared up with,
Yeah, I had some questions for Lorraine. I wanted to make sure we weren't double paying things because I knew some were held up.
Yep.
And some.
and we double checked.
Yeah, I spoke with Lorraine and everything was cleared up, but that accounting sheet would help us.
Brian didn't send anything for his, just Conroy.
Since, yeah.
Yeah, so he's in on Thursday. I will have him give me an update on where we stand, because we're running, I'm having the selectmen talk about doing a borrowing now, because looking at the cash flow, we're gonna need a payment for the GC in June,
Yes.
so we don't wanna come up short.
Okay, so from that, we'll do a reconciliation, and then you'll get monthly invoicing reports with your budget report that really need to tie with, because you've had a lot of expenditures that we don't even know about, so we want to include all of that in our payment application report.
We should probably offer it.
Generally, we don't roll all that up until we start with construction, because that's when it really heats up, so.
Because they did run them all on last week's warrant, whether or not, if they have to hold up the one for one of the companies, if they don't have anything, at least,
He should have everything now.
okay.
I sent him all the contracts,
So
so.
we'll have it as of April 30th.
Yeah.
All right, anything else?
I have one question about the change orders. You guys were talking about a couple of projects that you're just finishing up.
Mm-hmm.
Were there a lot of change orders on those projects?
In Orleans, yes. Most of them, 95% of them were owner
items.
upgrades.
Okay.
So, and that's usually what happens, is we like to drive a very lean budget, as you can see. And then we will present to you, options where we can increase items. So yeah, there was a decent amount, and it was in the last 6 months of the project too, which is the worst time. So yeah, to answer the question, yes.
Okay.
But when it comes to design-related.
So basically
issues
working
are-
off the drawings and everything's going smooth
Yeah,
until.
design-related changes are very low, below 1%. In Wellfleet was a renovation project, so we had a lot of unforeseen conditions with the structure, which was, we had planned a sizable contingency to help us with that, because it was just only so much investigation we could do there, so. But again, design-related are very low.
Yeah, same thing in Brewster, we're looking to open that in a month, Brewster Fire. The owner decided to put back, they ended up almost the same boat that Lakeville's in, with a healthy contingency, and they were able to put back a lot of those VE items we took out early. We went through the same process there. And so the owner-related changes were higher, and we did actually hit some unforeseen organic soils there, and that accounted, for a big amount of money that had to come out of the contingency to take that material out and put back some structural material, so.
In between two test borings.
Yeah, directly in between two test borings, yeah.
How many holes can you punch in the site?
So, that's why it's there. It's there to protect the
So that was at the
job.
very beginning.
That was the very
Project.
beginning, yep. And then, so towards the end, they've added some things back in.
We're gonna hit a turtle grave out there, those turtle shells are not buildable.
Don't even
Bring on camera. Getting out of the ground is always the toughest. My project in Orleans, we had a fuel station, an old police station, and a harbor master building we had to take down. And needless to say, there were some unforeseen conditions, but yeah, we got out of it just fine. So that's, like Dale said, why it's there.
Arrowheads and all that.
Okay.
So sue us.
All right, anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.